Speaking outside Alder Children's Hospital in Liverpool, Tom Evans said Alfie no longer requires intensive care but struggles to believe the toddler is suffering from a neurogenerative disease. Doctors say the 23-month-old is suffering from an incurable degenerative brain disorder and continued treatment is hopeless. But Alfie's dad told reporters this morning, for the third day there's been not one single problem with him. The nurses came in and said, "Wow, we got rejected yesterday to go to Italy unfortunately. We could take it further but would it be the right thing to do? So what we do today is have a meeting with the doctors at Alder and we now start asking to go home. Alfie doesn't need intensive care anymore. Alfie is lying on the bed with 1 liter of oxygen going into his lungs and the rest is him. Some people say this is a miracle. It's not a miracle, it's a misdiagnosis. There's no miracle about this. I've had a feeling about Alfie's condition for a while now and I've always said I struggle to believe it's a neurodegenerative disease." Alfies Army Getty. Tom Evans will meet with doctors today to discuss the possibility of taking Alfie home. Mr. Evans renewed his appeal to let Alfie be taken home but also accused Alder of making this hole bigger for themselves. He added, "He's been off a ventilator for 3 days and there's been no deterioration. He hasn't woken up. He's still a little bit weak but what we ask for is to go home to sustain his life because in here there's been no neurological assessment. No immediate care for him. It's just nurses sitting outside the room and leaving us to do what we do." People are starting to itch their heads now because Alder is making this hole bigger for themselves. At the end of the day there's a child in the middle of all this. It shouldn't be about costs, it should be about Alfie. The latest update on Alfie comes after Mr. Evans and his mother, Kate James, failed in another 11th-hour attempt to persuade judges to let them move their son to a hospital in Rome. Doctors in the Italian capital said they would not be able to cure the toddler's condition, but promised to continue caring for him. Doctors at Alder stopped providing life support on Monday night after Alfie's parents had lost 2 rounds of fights in the High Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court and European Court of Human Rights. But the couple continued their fight to have Alfie flown to the Bambino Gesù Children's Hospital in Rome and mounted one last challenge on Wednesday. They said their son has defied doctors' expectations and his continued survival amounted to a significant change of circumstances that merited a review. But yesterday, 3 Court of Appeal judges dismissed a challenge to a High Court decision made on Tuesday that he should not be taken abroad. Lawyers representing bosses at Alder said Alfie's condition was irreversible and there was no evidence that it had changed. Barrister Michael Milonas, who led the hospital's legal team, said it had never been suggested that Alfie would die as soon as life support treatment stopped. Barrister Sophia Roper, who represents Alfie and takes instructions from a court-appointed guardian, agreed. Getty supporters of Alfie Evans have demonstrated outside Alder Children's Hospital. Lord Justice McFarlane, who headed the Court of Appeal panel of judges, said Alfie's parents were trying to take one last chance, but he said there was no prospect of the couple's challenge succeeding and that Alfie was in the middle of a palliative care plan. British MEP Stephen Wolfe, in partnership with think tank Parliament Street, is today launching the Alfie's Law campaign as he looks to change rules to enable parents to make informed decisions about their sick child's care and treatment. He said, "Parents' rights should neither be ignored nor dismissed as irrelevant by hospitals and courts, who believe they know best and have the power, money and resources to overwhelm families who simply want to save their child. We demand a change in the law to restore the rights of parents in such decisions. All parents should be allowed an independent advocate to defend their case with the right legal and medical expertise and financial equality of arms. Now is the time to act. We cannot have another baby, another family, have to go through the struggle and torment the Evans family have. It's time for Alfie's Law." Alder said there were reports of unauthorized members of the public attempting to enter the hospital this morning. Bambino Gesù President Mariella Enoc hid out at the latest ruling, adding, "They have no choice but to wait for the death of the child." She said, "In these moments, I feel that we must accept what we do not want to accept. There is a law that is stronger than all of us, and we have no choice but to wait for the death of the child. I suspect that it responds to an ideological battle and that the decision does not respond strictly to legal reasons. I suspect there is hostility towards the Vatican Hospital. This very rigid way of applying the law shows that they do not accept dialogue, which we had not raised in ideological terms about life, but in scientific terms about the ability to cure." In an open letter issued last night, Alder Chairman Sir David Henshaw and Chief Executive Louise Shepherd said its staff had experienced unprecedented personal abuse after it found itself at the center of a social media storm. Workers had been subject to a barrage of highly abusive and threatening language and behavior, in person, via phone and online, while there were reports of unauthorized members of the public attempting to enter. The hospital, having to carry on our usual day-to-day work in a hospital that has required a significant police presence just to keep our patients, staff and visitors safe is completely unacceptable, they said. Merseyside Police has said it is monitoring posts online and that any malicious communications or threatening behaviour will be investigated and could lead to action. The government has also sparked anger for their response to the case of seriously ill toddler Alfie Evans, with both Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt and Prime Minister Theresa May remaining silent on the situation. Department of Health told Express.co.uk that such decisions will continue to be left in the hands of the court.